Our species has always been considered a nuisance amongst the stars. We weren't expert fighters, we weren't brilliant scientists. We were traders. We would trade anything and everything. The art of deal-making and breaking is something we had refined over thousands of years. The concept of giving your word was foreign to us. You couldn't eat it, you couldn't hold it, you couldn't wear it as a hat. What good was it? It was too late. We realized the importance the other races put into this concept. But it was too late. The damage was done. We were considered liars and cheats, barely accepted into the core systems, and always treated with suspicion or outright malice. Finding the humans was a boon for our species. They were relatively low technology-wise, but they had discovered how to split the atom. Our technology is considered at least 100 years out of date by galactic standards, but to the humans it was a marvel. They gave up large masses of their natural resources in exchange for out-of-date star charts and old phase drives. They spread at a rate that was staggering. They had established a large colony on their fourth planet and fledgling colonies on several of the more hospitable moons throughout their system. It was a golden age for both our people, a time of unparalleled cooperation. The humans were nearly as deceptive as we were. They were our greatest allies and our worthiest foes in the art of negotiation and trade. Then the wars began. An insectoid species known as the Nitari came to the conclusion that there was finite space, and inevitably conflict would arise over the colonizable worlds. They struck first. The core worlds went to war. Inevitably, the other insectoid species sided with the Nitari, whose mentality was one of total annihilation. They did not require colonies immediately, so a planet could be scourged of life and given hundreds of years to recover. Whole species were wiped out. Billions died. Our worlds and the humans' fledgling empire were insulated from this violence. Neither of us had participated in the wars, and the core worlds had no interest in us or our pets. The core worlds defeated the insectoids and drove them to extinction. The weapon thanes of Dormot were absolutely essential to the core world's victory over the insectoids. Thus, they were gifted with new territory. Since much of theirs had been lost to the ecosystem-killing attacks of the insectoids. This territory, much to our chagrin, was worlds we had colonized, albeit they were not territory we technically owned, but we and the humans share a saying that possession is 9/10 of the law. The weapon thanes gave us a year to evacuate our colonies. This was not nearly enough time for the billions of residents. We appealed to the council, but we were denied even an audience. They viewed us as squatters, and did not look favorably over the fact that we had not assisted them in the wars. But no request for aid had ever been asked. After a year had passed, the weapon thanes struck. Thousands died. We had no way of matching their prowess or weaponry. The humans offered to aid us in defending our worlds, and naturally we accepted. We had no idea what horror we would be unleashing. We had never paid attention to the humans' history, though it was readily available to us. It wasn't something we were interested in. They had been warring with one another throughout their recorded history. Their earliest tales spoke of battle and bloodshed. It was shocking to read some of their major conflicts, the terrible things they inflicted on one another. But we were desperate, and the humans offered some kind of salvation. We armed them with not only weapons, but also knowledge. We had never been so foolish as to provide the humans with information on advanced weaponry, but it was a bargaining chip we always held away from them. The humans had always been brilliant when it came to adapting and improving existing technology. With weaponry, it was like nothing we had ever seen. They took our technology in directions we had never dreamed. In months, they had advanced our technology further than we had in 30 years. Their initial attacks against the weapon things were staggering. They committed thousands of their own people and millions of credits in what they called probing attacks, merely to see what the responses would be. This taught humanity one thing: they were still greatly outclassed technologically. It took 10 of their heavy cruisers to destroy a single weapon thing capital ship. The humans had a simple solution. They sent 20. Every human world in their empire became devoted to helping the war effort. Their first true offensive was massive. Thousands of ships, millions of troops, billions of credits. It shattered like glass against the weapon thing's armada. We begged the humans to stop, that we couldn't bear to see what they were doing to their people, to assist a race that was not their own. They refused. They would not let us, who had never given the humans a fair deal in our entire history, who had wrung every tiny niggling concession out of them for technology that was woefully out of date, lose what was ours. The rest of the war went much like the first battle. Humans were defeated time and again. They never succeeded in halting the weapon thing's advance or pushing them off a single world. After 10 years of war, the weapon things of Dormont surrendered. For the first time in 400 years, they admitted defeat. We were baffled until the humans explained the concept of a Pyrrhic victory to us. It was an idea so insane, so utterly shockingly mad, that we were terrified. Our own allies had become more terrifying than the enemy they had just defeated. With everything they experienced and suffered at the hands of the weapon thanes, we expected genocide on an unprecedented level. Again, the humans surprised us. They made their hated enemies a protectorate. In exchange for some of the humans' colony worlds, they gained the weapon thanes' technology and knowledge. This they used to push humanity far past us. They then shared this freely with us. They also submitted a motion for us to join the council and rammed it down the core world's throats. Who would oppose them? They had defeated the most effective military in the known galaxy and were still on a war footing. What was most shocking was how easily they reverted back to the simple explorers we knew them as. They returned to their homes, beating swords to plowshares, and with their new technology continued to explore the galaxy. Now they serve as a warning to the rest of the galaxy, an unspoken threat to what will occur if they were to waken a sleeping giant and fill him with great resolve.